You want to start.
Wow, we are so excited. Zoe Flowers and me, Kaylin Castell, here with you today as we get ready for a Aries full moon that's going to lead us into an eclipse season. And one of the things I love about eclipse seasons is for many years, called them eclipse cauldrons. And in fact, back in 1999, there was the solar eclipse, and people were saying it was like the return of King Arthur, and it was in Leo, and it was all these things were happening. And we did a ceremony at a labyrinth, and a friend of mine brought a little cauldron to put at the center of the labyrinth. And when we were all done and we talked about the eclipse cauldron and how, we were entering this cauldron of energy, transformational energy, etc., she picked up the cauldron and turned it over, and on the bottom of it was stamped the word eclipse.
No, come on. No way. No way.
I was like, okay, so I'm not just making this up. I mean, it's like a thing. It's like real.
Why do you call it a cauldron?
Because in the cauldron is when where transformational change can take place. And if we
Mhm,
the process of alchemy, it's
mhm.
taking something that's ordinary and turning it into something extraordinary. And we can do that in the cauldron. We take all these different things and put them in the cauldron, and then something amazing comes out of it. So that's why
Mhm.
I call it a cauldron. And so here we are getting ready to move into this cauldron of transformational change. We could say it's an alchemical eclipse cauldron. We could add the word alchemy to that now, the alchemical aspect of it. And it's empowering change and transforming our base elements into the gold of relational bliss, first with ourselves and then with others, because we've got this Aries full moon eclipse, not eclipse, full moon, super full moon, closest to the earth. It's the fourth one in a series of four that's happened, meaning when it rises, it'll be bigger and brighter than normal. And it's going to have this just powerful impact. These perigee super moons tend to affect the tides of the earth, the magnetic field of the earth. Oftentimes there's earthquakes and things. And over the last few months, we've been having more of that, volcanoes going off, all of that happening because of the effect of these full moons that we've had. So this is the fourth and final one of 2023, happening pretty quick. And that then will lead us into the eclipse energy. And so at the full moon, the sun is in Libra, the moon is in Aries. It's activating the entire Aries Libra axis. The north node is in Aries, the south node is in Libra, and will be for another good year plus. And the is part of why we're going into an eclipse season in the Aries Libra full moon, new moon time, because when this wherever the nodes are, is where the eclipses will happen in those signs, because it's a way of how the earth, the sun, and the moon align, like in a combination, tumblers on a combination lock, or they just come into this alignment that allows for the eclipse thing to happen. So we're just in this sort of remarkable, magical, amazing, transformational time. And it's a lot about relationship. How are we relating to ourselves? How are we committed, Aries, 100% committed to the relationship with ourselves? And then from there, have a healthy relationship with the earth, with our tribe, with other people, with the planet itself, however we want to describe that. So that's what's kind of setting us up. So with all of that in mind, Ms. Zoe,
Yeah.
wow us with how the cards are helping to support this energy that's happening.
Yeah. Well, as always, right? The cards are right on time. So, you know what? I have these three pulled, but this one I cannot take my eye off of. So I'm going to just have to show it. And it says Secret Crush. And I feel like this is about an admirer, an attraction. So maybe there's some suitors coming in, right? So there is some energy moving towards that, which makes sense. I mean, we are in the season of it. I don't know, Kaylin, maybe you'll have what you want to say?
I'm thinking about if we had a secret crush on ourselves, how would we treat ourselves? How would we work with that? How would we have a relationship and romance ourselves in a new way, and in a way that is fun and playful and also supportive to wherever it is that we are now?
I really like that. And that actually makes me think about, and I'm going to go backwards and then come forwards. But that makes me think about the Leo energy and that we came out of, and reconnecting to like the things of the child, our inner child, and still having that playful energy. You're nodding. Is that an energy that's still present for us now in this?
Yeah, Venus is in Leo as we head into October. It's going to change
Aha.
into Virgo uh,
Mm-hmm.
October, but yes, Venus is still in Leo, and the Venus cycle, the 19-month Venus cycle that started in August, lasts for 19 months, with meaning that the overarching energy of this Venus cycle is Leo for 19 months. So yeah,
Got it. Okay. So I love that that reframing. Somebody had posted on Instagram yesterday that if we have problems with our appearance, if we have problems with our face, we should look at it as though it was hundreds of years of people who loved each other and came together and created our face, right? So I was like, oh, that's so great. But of course, the internet had to internet. So people had to come in and talk about history and like it wasn't all love and all these things. But then I said to myself, oh, this could be an interesting challenge. Even though I know what the history is, would my attitude be different? Would my life be different? Looking at the law of assumption, if I just chose to believe that. And so that was something that I said I was going to commit to, like challenging myself for like 30 days, changing my personal history to see what changes will happen in life. And so maybe that too is in some way connected to this energy.
Beautiful.
So the cards I got, which we love, is magic. And so obviously this is going along the same lines that Kaylin set us up for, finding the magic of ourselves. One thing I think I realized was that this is card number 3. So we have a divine number here also. So finding the divinity within ourselves, finding our own power. I mean, this could not be more Aries. And I'm actually going to read the book description of that because it's so Aries full moon. And then we got power. I mean, the magic was in you all along. Do you know what I mean? It's like this is where we're at, stepping into our power. So this to me is another portal. We've had so many portals, I feel like since July, since that big shift that happened in July. And you could tell me, I don't know if the energy is getting bigger or if it's dispelling as we come to the end of the year, but it's portal after portal after portal. And so this Friday is just another one of those portals to leap into. And then we have an herb that can help us weave everything together. We have lavender here. I don't typically think of lavender as a weaving herb, but it's really interesting that we have the spider here, right? We have mother spider. And for me in my practice, we actually work with the spider to connect us to people, places, things for that can help us, quote unquote. And so then we have the Pluto energy here. So again, that transformation, that transmutation, what needs to be transformed, what needs to be transformed is our self-image. That's just what's been coming up for me in all of the readings that I've been doing lately, is our self-image and our relationship to power. Certain things do have to be released with this past life here, right? Certain ideologies, certain limiting beliefs. These are all things that I think we can commit to giving up on this particular full moon so that we can become new. And I think you wanted to say something about the Hathors, because that's what this reminds me of.
Well, of course, ancient Egyptian symbol for the goddess Hathor, but it was also considered when there was a turning of a great age. So it might have been a seasonal cycle. It might have been just the shift from the sun rising at the equinox between the horns of the bull, or the moon showing up between the horns of the bull constellation 6,500 years ago. And so that symbol, they feel, was created as a representation of that. The other thing I just wanted to say, a couple of things. One is, of course, I have the 5-pointed star on the circle behind me, which is the Venus cycle. Venus makes a 5-pointed star. She travels through her cycle every 19 months, and over 8 years, she forms this pentagram in the sky. And so that's happening here. Sekhmet, the goddess Sekhmet, is the Leo lioness. Also Aries, she's the one that Ra sends to Earth to help restore justice. So Sekhmet, in her story, one of the ways the story is told is that she gets overzealous and they have to calm her down, and they get her drunk, and she passes out, and when she wakes up, she's Hathor.
Got it.
So I'm just feeling the Sekhmet, Hathor, Venus, Leo, lioness, sovereign self, but self-love. And that's where true relationship begins, is when we have genuine, healthy self-love. So I just love how you're speaking into all that with the cards are really showing that.
100%. And that Hathor too is, it's here. The crown of Hathor is also on the High Priestess card here. And this card is associated with the planet Aries as well. Yeah. So, and the moon. So all of that is super, super, super interesting. I do want to read this power card number 46. So of course we would reduce that to we would add the 4 + 6 to make a 10 for numerology, and then that would bring us to 1. So it is a complete new beginning, right? So it's like we keep having these doors, these opportunities. I was thinking about the movie Sliding Doors. I don't know if people have ever seen it, with Gwyneth Paltrow, right? I love it, love it, love it, love the ending, right? And so for me, what I've been seeing is these doors opening and closing, and it's like, we got to get in there, we got to get in that elevator, right? And part of it is stepping into our power. So it says, you are powerful, you are worthy, you are sovereign. And you said sovereign. It is time to remember past life, your worth. Drawing this card invites you to take your place in the starring role of life. There is no need to play small. You are being granted permission to display your strengths for all to see. It does no service for you to hide your gifts. Drawing this card can also indicate that it's time for you to call your power back from any situation that has been taken or given away. And then they talk a little bit about the Isis crown, the crown of Isis. Sometimes the crown of Hathor is made up of the sun disk cradled in the cow's horn. The sun and the cow were both worshipped in ancient Egypt as symbols of the different but equal powers of the masculine and the feminine. So these are all things that you can play with, I would say, from when you watch this video until the actual full moon on Friday. But I would say you could also continue to work with this energy for the next 6 months, because I like to work with the full moon and the new moon energy for the next 6 months. So if you see it after the full moon, just know you can still work with this energy. The themes are reclaiming your power, reclaiming your magic from past life issues, etc., etc. And that will help you weave together the life that you actually want to experience. So that's what I have.
Yay. Oh, definitely becoming co-creators of our reality. And if we think about this full moon, it's actually leading us into the eclipse window. And then this eclipse window is the lead into the eclipse window 6 months from October. That will be in April. There'll be a total solar eclipse going across the US. And also this eclipse on October 14th, the Libra new moon eclipse, is going across the US as well. And it's an annular eclipse. That means, and this is bringing us back to the whole cauldron thing, It's like we see the face of the moon going across the sun, and it leaves a ring of fire. It's not, the moon is not going to be big enough to completely cover the sun, as it will be in April of 2024. And so this is really this preparation, and everything that you shared, Zoe, so amazing. Is this is what we need to be paying attention to as we head into that total solar eclipse in 2024 that will go across the US. And so I will put in the show notes a link to where the eclipse, you can see the eclipse. You can see all across the US, you'll be able to see some of it. There's the path of the greatest totality is going through, like, you know, comes through Oregon and down through like the tip of Arizona and New Mexico and out, and then it goes down into South America. So I'll put a link so people can find that and see what they see. But all across the US is going to be at least some of the eclipse you'll be able to see, which is very exciting. And the ring of fire. So thinking about this, in the cauldron is in the fire. The fire is what is the energy that helps to transmute and transform and take the base elements and turn them into gold, turn them into something else. And this is the gold of our essence, the gold of taking the base elements of who we are and transforming this into the gold of the essence of who we are, so that we can shine as the divine creator beings that we are, creating our reality, as you were speaking to. I love this. So, wow. And also, I will put in the show notes, Zoe and I did another video back in, I think it was in July, when the nodes were shifting in Libra, and Pluto's been in square, and Pluto's still in square, and Pluto is one of the most powerful symbols of alchemy that we have. It's still in square to the nodes and pretty close square, and will be until the end of this year. And so the video that we did on that was pretty amazing as well. So here we are once again in this time. And we started setting this up back in July, and now we're getting to take it to another level, and we'll keep doing that. So, so continue to join with us in this, because it's very exciting. And I just love how we can I can bring the astrological perspective, Zoe can bring the tarot perspective, and how they weave together. Because this is what we need in our world. We need to really be collaborating, cooperating, and co-creating, because that's what the Libra mysteries are all about. And I'm getting chills as I say that.
Exactly. And what are the dates? I know the full moon is the 29th in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, let me see the exact time of the full moon.
Even better.
Yeah, is let's see, it's okay. It's 4:58 p.m. Eastern time, 1:58 p.m. Pacific time. I'm sorry, that's not right. Ixnay that. Okay, let me go back here. It's it's 5:58 a.m. Eastern time and 2:50 Pacific time. So it's just after. So for most people, I think across the planet, it'll be on the 29th. And October 14th is the new moon annular solar eclipse that's happening. And that'll be like the most, I think where I'm going to go see the full eclipse is like 9 something in the morning, when the totality, the greatest totality, but it'll be different places based on your time zone. Then October 28th is the last, it's a partial lunar eclipse that's happening that will close the eclipse window. We'll close that cauldron, that transformational, alchemical transformational cauldron around this whole relational theme that has been coming up. And with the nodes being in Aries Libra for the next months, many months, over a year now. I mean, they just went in July, and it's usually 18 months. So, this is a theme that's happening for us, and for us to be in our sovereign essence, to do the alchemy within ourselves, so that we can then engage in relationships. And then what can we accomplish together that we could never really fully do on our own? because we're so much more powerful when we're united together, and valuing and honoring and respecting each other as equal and valid, and having different skill sets that we bring to the table, but that are all important. None are less more important or less important. That's what we got going. So
I love it. And those are my placements too. That's the nodes. Those are my placements. So this has been very, very exciting. Um, and the other thing that came to me as you were talking is about this collaboration piece is a part of this energy that I'm feeling is facing the hard truths, maybe about how we have perceived things, because been getting a lot of downloads for myself about how I've perceived things and how I've behaved in relationships based on misperceiving things. So one of the things I've been doing, and maybe this will be helpful for other people, is to really be consistent about writing down dreams, downloads, messages, signs, like if you're seeing birds and things like that. And then maybe when we're into 2024, looking back and seeing. But I think this is and for people who are like, maybe this is the beginnings of a grimoire for people. I don't know, but it's just very important right now to be capturing these downloads, because we get so much information. I know I forget stuff if I don't
oh
write it down. I
yeah.
just totally it'll be gone.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. Yeah,
No.
it's true. And journaling is, and also you get more insights when you journal too. So it's really, really great practice. And with the intention that we can discover more about ourselves and deepen that relationship with ourselves, and
Hmm.
and notice maybe where we might have judgments about ourselves,
Hmm.
and then how those judgments might get projected onto other people.
Yeah.
Might not be especially helpful. And yeah, those are things I've been working with myself as well. So highly
Yeah.
recommend that. That's a great um, idea that you have there for people. So
Yeah.
I hope they'll take you up on that.
Yes. And let us know in the comments how it goes for you if you do that.
Absolutely. And so thank you all so much for listening, for being here, for joining us, because I feel like even if we're just uh, intending together, we don't
Yeah.
necessarily have to be doing things together. We can just be intending together. And that is just powerful. We change everything doing that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we look
Yes.
forward to connecting with you down the road.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.